everyone, my name is Reggie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm so excited to be sharing with you the unpopular book opinions tag. If you've been on my channel for a long time, you probably know that I filmed this video a long time ago, first when I started my channel, but it's been privated now. And I have a lot more bookish unpopular opinions now than I did then, so I thought it was definitely time to redo this video. This iconic book tag was created by the book Archer, so I will link her original video down in the description box if you want to check it out. But let's just get into the first question. The first question of this book tag is, name a popular book or series that you do not like. I actually just posted a video full of all of the books and series that I didn't like, so I definitely recommend going over to that video for more sassy Reggie and fiery bookish opinions. But while I was editing that video, I definitely realized that I missed one major one, so I get to tell you about it right now, and that is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. Whew. When I read this book, so many people told me that this was their favorite Colleen Hoover book, so when I read it, I was shocked because it was so not good. It was, to me, the perfect storm of bad bookish ingredients mixed together. So we had a weak and awful main character. We had a problematic and damaging love story. We had a non-existent plot and just weird things happening, and I just wasn't a fan. But I was just also baffled that so many people loved this and kind of idealized this romance. I think now a lot more people are aware that Colleen Hoover's books tend to be problematic and not the greatest of romances. However, at the time that I read this, that wasn't like a thing that people talked about too often in the bookish community. I was so angry that I wasn't warned that it was going to be this bad. Question number 2 is a popular book or series that you love that everyone else seems to hate. So for this, I'm going to select 2 books, and I'm selecting 2 because they are very interconnected in the reason I think I love them and other people hate them. They're also 2 very popular series, and these are often cited as people's least favorite books in both of these series, but they are both my favorite books in each series. So that is Mockingjay, which is often touted as people's least favorite of the Hunger Games trilogy, but is actually my favorite book in the series, and Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which again, often touted as people's least favorite Harry Potter book, but is in fact my favorite. The reason I think a lot of people dislike these books is also the reason I think I loved these books. In both of these books, the characters recently went through a wartime experience, or even a pre-war experience. Something happened that shifted them, their perspective, their world, everything changed, and they couldn't go back, and that changed their character. We have grown with these characters to these points in this series, and then they are so different after these events happen. And people read these books and say, oh, I don't like whiny Harry, I don't like how weak Katniss got. It's not that they're weak or whiny, it's that they're going through PTSD, and both of them are. I like books with impact, and when I read a book where there's a war going on in the world and the main character doesn't even blink when something tragic happens, I find that incredibly unrealistic, and like those stakes that we just had, that tragedy that just happened, didn't matter as much. But you have the exact opposite thing happening in these books. Katniss is going through the hardest moments of her life, and she's not weak, she's stressed and sad and hurt, and she doesn't know where to go from here. And Harry has gone through the hardest thing he's ever had to deal with when we start off Order of the Phoenix. And he is lashing out at his friends, and it's not because he hates them, it's not because he's a teenager and he is a whiny brat, it's because he's going through something that no one else can understand, and he has been traumatized, and he is putting blame on himself, and he doesn't know how to handle being around people knowing what he knows and having gone through what he went through. And those depictions are so realistic to me, so much more realistic than something traumatic happening, character being sad for a minute and then moving on with their life. These are fully fleshed out depictions that I commend both the authors for really leaning into, because I think they made the series both so much more realistic to me, and they made them more impactful and matter more for me. Question number 3 is a love triangle where the main character didn't end up with the person that you wanted them to, or an OTP that you did not like. So I'm going with the OTP that you did not like. The OTP that I do not ship is Rysand and Feyre. This is the couple from A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Rysand is still awful. Just because he's the lesser of 2 evils doesn't make him a good person. People will say, oh, but you saw how Tamlin treated Feyre. Rhysand is so much better. Is he though? Just because he's the lesser of two evils, that doesn't mean he's not problematic. That doesn't mean he's not abusive. That doesn't mean he's not bad. He is not a good person. Their relationship is unhealthy, it's sexist, it's weird and creepy. It's not okay. The general love people have for the ship boils my blood because people will often cite things that Tamlin did, that Rhysand also did, and they don't care because he's the lesser of two evils, and I just don't get that. Just because someone was less shitty to you than someone else doesn't mean they're your new best friend. They were still both shitty to you. Know your self-worth, kids. Question number 4 is a popular genre that you just don't reach for. For me, this is romance. I love a good romance in books, but I want more in the story because, guys, there's more to life than love. Question number 5 is a popular and beloved character that you do not like. For me, I decided to go with Peter Pan from the original J.M. Barrie classic tale. This boy is self-centered and narcissistic. He doesn't grow, not just like he doesn't grow up, obviously that's the plot, but he just doesn't grow as a character. And I just think everything about him is weird and creepy, and I'm not here for it. Thank you, next. Question number 6 is a popular author that you just can't seem to get into. For this one, I'm going with Neil Gaiman. I've read countless of his books. I mean, maybe countless isn't the right way to phrase it, but I've read many of his books, and I've never given anything over 3 stars, I believe. I think he's a great person. He's so interesting and unique, and I'm cool with him as a person. His writing just doesn't mesh with me. Question number 7 is a popular book trope that you are tired of seeing. Oh my gosh, girl frickin' hate. I am so annoyed by this concept being perpetuated in all forms of media. What I really hate in a trope form of girl hate is when we have a character who gets to know someone else and it turns out maybe they're not like you expected, which is a great lesson to learn. But then at the end it's framed like, oh, well, she changed. We got to learn more about each other. Now she and I can be friends again. It's like, first of all, you're not taking blame for hating on someone else and she's not taking blame for hating on you. We don't need to perpetuate that kind of standard in any way. And like she didn't change, you changed because you got to know her and realized that maybe she wasn't a brat and so you stopped hating her. You changed, she didn't change. Why are we framing it like she changed? Maybe she was never that bad, or maybe you should just mind your own business. Just lift other ladies up, lift everyone up. Why is it so hard to be positive? Question number 8 is a popular book or series that you have no interest in reading. I know I really don't want to read Outlander. I don't want to read A Song of Ice and Fire, which is the Game of Thrones series, if you didn't know. And I'm sure there's countless others, honestly, but they're not top of mind because I don't care about them because I don't want to read them. The last question is, as the saying goes, the book is always better than the movie, but what movies do you think were better than the books? There are so many I could actually list for you. Holy cow. Let's see. Meet Earl and the Dying Girl. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. That was a horrible movie, but the book was worse. The Scorched Trials, Catching Fire. I could probably list more, but we'll cut it off there. Alright, don't hate me too much. We're all people. We're all entitled to our own opinions, and these are just mine. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already because I post new bookish videos every week on this channel, and typically my videos are a little more positive, but not always. As a reviewer, I think it's so important to talk about things we don't like as much as it is to talk about things we do like. It matters. Comment down below and let me know your answer to any of these questions, and let me know if you agree with any of my unpopular opinions. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!